Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. I'm your host, Live Wire. So, two other rookies from the 2025 Indiana Fever draft class has arrived in Indiana. So, which number 20, Bree Hall out of South Carolina, and number 33, Yvonne Ejim out of Canada. Now, both of them got drafted, and they're gonna be in a, to be honest, it's gonna be stiff competition in training camp for these two young ladies. Now, um, Michaela Tipson, she hasn't came yet. She hasn't arrived there. So hopefully this week she will make her presence. Last weekend was Easter weekend. So, everybody is spending time with their family, just, getting things in order to make the trip. So but Bree and Yvonne has made it there. They was able to be in their locker room. They was able to get a tour of the facility. And they also, how Indiana Fever does it, brings out the little welcome once they walk through the building. So I want to show you real quick and everything like that. So, uh, no, that's not the one I wanted. Hold on. I had it. Hopefully I could get it to you real quick here. Dang it. Hopefully I could get it added in real quick. I had it. I hate being on location where I can't get my stuff the way I want it to be. So uh but another one. I had it there, but here's the one with them in their locker room. So that's Yvonne to your, if you're looking one way is right, and if you're looking straight ahead is left. And then there's Bree Hall sitting in the locker room. So I don't know what their jersey numbers will be yet. So that's going to be a little interesting right there to see what their jersey numbers is going to be. So hopefully they could get it out pretty quickly so we could definitely see what they're working with and everything like that. But nevertheless, it's great to see these young ladies in training camp. Like I said, so it's only one roster spot. They won't have the 12th roster spot until probably sometime middle of the year or whatever the case might be. But you know, with the Fever adding so many pieces this off season, it kind of chewed up the salary cap, and we already know that the salary cap was already messed up so bad because of Lynn Dunn and what she did. And it's kind of hard to really put in place, you know, to get the right pieces, because there's probably certain players that they probably target that they wanted, and they couldn't do it because of the fact of the matter is that they only had a little bit money to work with. They had to kill contracts of um not Erica Wheeler, because she her contract was off the book, but Christy Wallace, and then they had to buy out Katie Lou Samuelson and still pay her over 100K. So, and then they had to get rid of what's the young lady name? I can't remember her name right now, but she went to Minnesota. So, and then let me touch on that real quick. Because she went to Minnesota, people, somebody put on a podcast today or yesterday said that getting rid of her will be a big mistake in the years to come for the Indiana Fever. Let me explain something to you. When you have great GMs in places such as Kelly Kirchhoff and Amber Cox, you don't worry about stuff like that. Now, if you had somebody like Lynn Dunn in place, yeah, you will worry about that pretty much because we have seen Lynn Dunn mess up this roster from the time she was coaching until the time that Kelly don't have to take over. She messed it up really bad. She gave out bad contracts. She cut good players that went on to been great players on for other teams. Like Alana Smith. She had, I think she had what, Jordan Horston on the team, if I'm not mistaken. And then she had Laney Hamilton on the Fever. I mean, these players went on to be good players for somebody else when this team could have pretty much been intact, and she pretty much made shift. I mean, I'm not complaining too much, but say for instance, Aaliyah Boston probably would have got picked somewhere else. Caitlin Clark probably got picked somewhere else. You know, you got to look at these things. When you run in an organization, and Lynn Dunn time, because she helped build Seattle over there. You know, and then she had some success with the Fever. Times have changed. Times changed drastically, and you can't really run the same um scheme when it doesn't work. Things move on, things get better, things get better, so forth and so on. But nevertheless, man, we in a good we in a good spot now, and I just excuse me, I just want I want the FIBA organization to continue to do well. I want them to do well. I want them to continue to grow and continue to add pieces. But like I said, for the rookies, it's going to be tough because I do like Bree Hall. I think she could bring something defensively. Yeah, she's a okay 3-point shooter, but we already know if you're not shooting that well in college, if you're not an elite player that shoots very well, and you're in the middle of the pack, you can get better. People sit there and say, this is where sometimes numbers could really um don't show everything of it, especially when it comes down to player development. Michael Jordan was never a great 3-point shooter, but as years went on, he got better. As he, started winning championships, he got better. It's not like how you like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or Caitlin Clark or Sabrina Ionescu. Those shooters, they skill like that. But I think when you become a decent 3-point shooter, you get better, especially if you not asked to do a whole lot. We've seen it with Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall wasn't good in the first half of the season, but dang, in the second half of the season, she got in the starting lineup. She did play well defensively, and look where her 3-point percentage went up. Because she got open shot looks and shots. Now, Katie Lou Samuelson was the she didn't play well all season. She didn't shoot well all season. Even when she was given an opportunity, she really didn't. She just and then she kind of like got in her head and took herself out, and then gave the opportunity to somebody else. But nevertheless, I think Bree Hall, she's young, she's gonna grow, she's going to get better. I just hope the Fever don't lose her to nobody else. I hope they find a way to stash her, to keep her, because you look at the contract situation going into next year with Lexi Hall. Now I do believe Lexi Hall still will be on the team. I think, Bree Hall will find a spot. The only person I think, is going to be tough is Yvonne Ejim. I think it's going to be tough for her. I think it's going to be rough for her to make a team because you got to think about it. You got Jalen Brown, who I don't think can make the team. At one point, I thought she could probably had a chance to make the team to be Kelsey Mitchell's backup. But now that we drafted these players, it's, it's going to be tough. And then the other young lady that we gave a training camp contract to. So, but the Indiana Fever, like I always said before and time again, I think they will always have a plan. They always know what they're doing, you know. And we don't know what's ahead. We don't know what's going on because we starting to roll into 2025. Training camp is what, a week away, and um, it's going to be intense. We're going to get to see a lot of footage. There's going to be stuff. We just saw a photo like what yesterday, a couple days ago of Keith Porter with Lexi Hall, Sydney Colston, Caitlin Clark, and Bree Turner. And I continue to give Bree Turner a shout out because she's been in every practice. And I think the intensity of this team is going to be very, 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 very explosive. So shout out to Yvonne Ejim and Bree Hall for making it to the Indiana facility. Hopefully you get to see some of them in the workout with Keith Porter, soon. Maybe they will be doing a press conference with these young ladies soon. So hopefully when Michaela Tipson gets there, then they'll be able to do that and with all three of them, and then see what they're thinking and what their excitement is, and hopefully they can bring a lot to make this team. But until the next episode, guys, enjoy your lovely day. This is Live Wire Sports Media, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.